myself Professor Khemchand Surana. So in last session we have started with the new chapter, that is anti-cancer agents, and in that initially we have seen the introduction of cancer. Then we have seen the different types of cancer, that is what benign cancer and malignant cancer, then their causes, and then we have started with the cell cycle kinetics. We have seen the cell cycle of the cancerous cell and the different drugs where act on the different phases of the cell cycle. So further we have seen the combinedly mode of action of these anti-cancer agents, where the different anti-cancer agents were act on the different phases of these particular life cycle of the, or we can say the cell cycle of the particular cancerous cell. So now further in today's session we will start with the classification of anti-cancer agents. Okay, so this is what the important as per your examination also. So according to the chemical structure and resources of the drug, basically, so on the basis of chemical structure and their resources, so anti-cancer agents were classified into different classes. Okay, in that the first major class is the alkylating agent. Okay, so again the from alkylating agent there are many subclasses were there. So majorly what the first is what alkylating agent. In that the first subclass is what nitrogen mustard. Okay, so the nitrogen mustard is the first subclass of this alkylating agent. So in that example is mechlorethamine, cyclophosphamide, also called as cytoxane. Okay, then efosamide, then mefalfam, then chlorambucil. Okay, so these are all what nitrogen mustards. Then second class is what aziridine derivatives, that is what alkylating agent aziridine derivatives. Example from this category is thiotepa. Okay, the one and only the example is that thiotepa. Okay, then nitrosourea. So this class is again important as per your examination. So in that nitrosourea examples are carmustine, in short you can call BC and U. Okay, as per their chemical name. Okay, this will whatever this short form will look into in details during the explanation of this class. Then lomustine is there, CCNU in short you can call. Then samustine, methyl CCNU we can call it. Okay, so this is what the one more example, and streptozocin. So these are all what nitrosourea derivatives. Now next class is what triazine derivatives. In triazine derivatives basically decarbazine and procarbazine, these are two example. Okay, decarbazine and procarbazine. Next class is what alkyl sulfonate derivatives. So from this category the one and only example is busulfam. Okay, so busulfam is what alkyl sulfonate derivative. And the last category, that is what platinum derivative, or we can also call the organoplatinum analogs or organoplatinum derivatives. Okay, so in that example is cisplatin and carboplatin. So these are two examples from this category. Now second major class from this anti-cancer agent is what antimetabolites. Okay, so from this category basically again three subclasses given. So antimetabolites in that three subclasses. So first one is purine antagonist, then pyrimidine antagonist, and then folic acid antagonist. So these are what three subclasses from antimetabolite. Then in purine antagonist, 6 mercaptopurine is what the example, then 6 thioguanine, then fludarabine phosphate, then cladirabine, vidarabine, and 8 azaguanine. So these are what the examples from purine antagonist. In that 6 mercaptopurine is well known and highly whatever the highly potent you can say, or highly used or the mostly used in what particular treatment of this cancer. Okay, then pyrimidine antagonist, in that example is 5-fluorouracil, in that example citarabine, capecitabine, gemcitabine, and 5-azacyclidine. So these are what the examples. In that 5-fluorouracil also well known drug from this category. Then next one is what folic acid antagonist. So in that example is methotrexate, aminopterin, These are two examples from this folic acid antagonist, methotrexate and aminopterin. Then next major category is what? Antibiotics. Also we can call these antibiotics as a anti-cancer antibiotics. Okay, so in that example is what? Dactinomycin, or you can also call D-actinomycin, then daunorubicin, then doxorubicin, then bleomycin, then mitomycin. These are what? All antibiotics which are used as a anti-cancer agent. Then mitotic inhibitors. Okay, so in mitotic inhibitors basically vincristine, vinblastine, these are from what? Vinca alkaloids. Then paclitaxel, this is what? Taxane derivative. Paclitaxel also well known drug. Then 4-methyl epipodophylotoxin. Okay, so these are all what? From natural sources. Okay, vincristine, vinblastine, paclitaxel, then 4-methyl epipodophylotoxin, these are all from what? Natural sources. So further, the major class from this anti-cancer agent is what? Hormones or anti-hormones, you can say also. Okay, so hormones and anti-hormones, either you called hormones or you called it anti-hormones. Okay, so in that again different subclasses are given. So in that estrogen is there. From estrogen, diethyl stilbosterol or ethylene estradiol. Okay, these are examples. Then androgen, from androgen, testosterone propionate or fluoxymestrone, these are examples. Then whatever the progestanes. Okay, so these progestanes from examples from these categories: hydroxyprogesterone caproate or medroxyprogesterone. Okay, then anti-androgen, example is flutamide, cytarabine, nilutamide, biclutamide, glosserilin. These are what? Example from anti-androgen. Then anti-estrogen, the tamoxifen. Okay, the tamoxifen is what? Anti-estrogen agent. Then LHRH analogs. From the LHRH analogs, the leuprolidine and triplo, what is this? The triplotoralin. Okay, so this is what the LHRH analogs. Then glucoroids, in that prednisolone, hydrocortisone, these are examples. Then gonadotropin releasing hormone antagonist, then in that whatever the gossarin acetate, this is the example. Then aromatase inhibitor, from this category the aminoglutathione, then astrozole, letrozole, xamstain, these are the example. Okay, then signal transduction inhibitors, in that example basically staurosporine, genstatin, tyrophosine, flavoperidol and imitinib, these are the example from signal transduction inhibitors. And last one is what? Peptide hormone inhibitors, in that basically somatostatin analogs will be there. So example is octreotide. Okay, so this is what the examples and different subclasses from the hormones and anti-hormones. Okay, so this is what the classification of anti-cancer agent. Further, the next major category, that is what? Miscellaneous examples you can call. So in that basically hydroxyurea is there, asparginase, mitoxantrone, retinoic acid derivatives, amexcanin, then bone marrow growth factors basically, amifostine, whatever the cristanospace. Okay, cristanospace basically, this is what the enzymes which will useful in the treatment of this cancer. Then aldase leukin, interleukin second factor, that is what? And colchicine. Okay, these are what? All miscellaneous anti-cancer agent. And last category is what? Monoclonal antibodies. So these monoclonal antibodies, basically three example: rituximab, trastuzumab and gemtuzumab. These are what? The examples from monoclonal antibodies. Okay, so this is what the classification of anti-cancer agent. Now today we'll look into what the first major category, that is what? Alkylating agents. So these alkylating agent basically what? The cytotoxic drugs. Okay, so initially we'll look into what the introduction of cytotoxic drugs. So what is basically cytotoxic drug is there? In that the alkylating agents were came. Okay, So basically these cytotoxic drugs are what the primary target of DNA cross-linking agent is actively binding DNA molecule. Okay, so basically what will happen, cytotoxic, okay, the agent which are toxic to the cell. Okay, so this is called as a cytotoxic agent. So basically whatever the primary target of the DNA cross-linking agent, in previous year in bioorganic chemistry and drug design we have seen the different alkylating agent or alkylators. Okay, so as again similar kind of study or mechanism you can see here. So basically what will happen, so whatever the drug alkylating agent that will bind to the DNA of the particular cell, okay, and then they were cross linked to the particular cell and inhibit the DNA synthesis. Okay, so DNA cross linkers are all extremely reactive electrophilic structure. Okay, so these cytotoxic agent were called as what, DNA cross linkers, and these are what, extremely reactive electrophilic structure. What is that? Electrophilic structure. And when encounter the nucleophilic group on the various DNA, okay, already we have seen in previous year what, the DNA having what, nucleophilic region, and whatever these alkylating agent or cytotoxic drug, they were having what, electrophilic region. Okay, so nucleophilic group on the various DNA bases at what position of N7 of the guanine, the N7 of the guanine, at this position there is what, nucleophilic group will be there. So readily attack the electrophilic drug, whatever the drug which is having electrophilic in nature, they were attacked to the nucleophilic region of this N7 position of the guanine of the DNA base. Okay, and resulting in what, irreversible alkylation or complexation of the DNA bases. So when these electrophilic drug were attacked to the nucleophilic side of the DNA bases at N7 position, they were form the complex. That complex is what, irreversible. Okay, the complex is what, irreversible. Then further the some DNA alkylating agent such as nitrogen mustard, nitrosourea, okay, so these are what the classes we have already seen from alkylating agent, are bifunctional. So these are what, bifunctional, meaning the one molecule of the drug can bind to the two distinct DNA bases. Okay, so bifunctional means what, so one molecule of the drug, okay, can bind to the two different DNA bases. Okay, so most commonly the alkylated bases are on different DNA molecules are interstrand DNA cross linking through two guanine N7 atoms results the DNA alkylating antineoplastic are not cell specific, but they are more toxic to cell in the late G1 and S phase of the cycle. Okay, so whatever the most commonly alkylated base of these different DNA molecules, okay, they were what, initially interstrand and cross link the DNA, okay, at 2 N7 position, okay, N7 of the guanine atom, okay, and they were act as what, antineoplastic, not cell cycle specific drug. Okay, means they are non cell cycle specific drug, and they were more toxic to the cells, but at what, late G1 or S phases of the cycle, means at S phase and G1 phase they were more toxic. Okay, then further this is what about cytotoxic drugs. Now we'll start with the subclasses of these alkylating agent. So first is what, nitrogen mustard. Already we have seen the nitrogen mustard. Okay, so in this nitrogen mustard basically, so nitrogen mustards are bis beta haloalkyl amine. Okay, so this is what, chemically bis beta haloalkyl amine. You can see the structure, bis beta haloalkyl amine. So NR will be there, then 2 alpha carbon and 2 beta carbon with 2 chlorine will be there. So this is what the basic structure. The term bis means what, 2. The halo means what, the short for halogen. Okay, so halogen we can represent by halo. In the nomenclature is invariably chlorine basically. Okay, so in basic structure basically, so halogen is what, chlorine is given, that's why they were represented by halo. Okay, the 2 chlorine atoms dramatically decreases the basic strength of the amino nitrogen through strong negative inductive effect. So because of these two chlorine atoms or the halogen atoms, they decreases the basic strength of the amino nitrogen through a strong negative inductive effect. Okay, so because of this, as a result, the unionized conjugate of the drug of these drugs basically predominate the physiological pH. Okay, so because of this decrease in basic strength of these amino nitrogen, they were unionized, okay, and forms and affects at what their physiological pH. Okay, so this is what international, because it is an unionized amine. Okay, this is what intentional. Okay, not okay, so this is I have told that is what international, this is what the intentional. Okay, so this basic concept of this physiological pH and formation of unionized is what intentional. Okay, and it is unionized amine with its lone pair of electron that allows the formation of highly electrophilic aziridium ion, which is the reactive DNA destroying intermediate generated by the true mustard. Okay, so whatever these nitrogen mustard will be there, so because of these unionized formation and predominates or affects at their physiological pH. Okay, they were formed what highly electrophilic aziridium ion, and this highly electrophilic aziridium ion is what more reactive, and this will help to destroy the DNA. Okay, so this is what basic about the nitrogen mustard. So further, the electrophilic molecules that covalently modify the nucleophilic molecules, as already we have seen what the nucleophilic region at what DNA basis, and electrophilic what, these are what nitrogen mustard or alkylating agent, they were act as a electrophilic molecule. So they were covalently bond to each other and form the particular cross linking structure. Okay, so in cancer treatment, basically either as a single agent or a component of combination regimen. Okay, so for cancer treatment they were either used as a single form or as a component form. Okay, so for both acute as well as chronic hematologic malignancy they were useful. Okay, similar to sulfur mustard or mustard gas. Okay, so similar to what sulfur mustard or mustard gas will be there, and develop and use in the treatment during what the First World War. Okay, so nitrogen mustard inhibit the cell production by inhibiting irreversibly with nucleic acid. Okay, so they were what inhibiting cell reproduction. How they were form the cross linking with this N7 position of the guanine of the DNA. Okay, so specific type of chemical bonding involved is alkylation. So what kind of bonding, chemical bonding has been involved, that is what through alkylation process. Now further, as we know, whatever the alkylating agents, they were act through what alkylation process, and they will cross link the molecule. So because of this alkylation, it leads to what alteration of guanine, so that it forms an abnormal base pair with thymidine. Okay, so they were what form the abnormal base pair with thymidine, then cleavage of imidazole ring of the guanine. Okay, so imidazole ring will be cleaved, okay, from the guanine ring. Okay, thus destroying the guanine, then linking of the guanine pairs producing cross link DNA strand, okay, which cannot replicate, then depurination of DNA causing actual breakage of the DNA strand. So these are what the results of the alkylation reaction. Okay, so further we'll discuss the different nitrogen mustards. Okay, so first example is what mechlorethamine. You can see the structure, quite simple structure, just remember the basic structure. So NCH3 CH2 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 Cl Cl. So this will given by IVly, means intravenously, and also used in the treatment of Hodgkin's disease. Okay, then second drug is what cyclophosphamide. You can see the drug cyclophosphamide, phosphorus group will be there, P double bond O NH, then okay, this cyclic ring will be there, and then NCH2Cl CH2Cl. You can see the structure. Okay, the levo this drug basically given orally. Okay, so by orally this drug has been given. Then leo form of this cyclophosphamide is twice active than the dextro form. So this point is important as per your GPAD examination. Okay, so just remember, so leo form of this cyclophosphamide is twice active than what dextro form. Prodrug requires activation in vivo by P440 isoenzyme CYP2B6 and CYP3A4 or 5 in liver. Okay, so initially what will happen, this cyclophosphamide is what prodrug, and it will be activated by in vivo, okay, through these two different P440 enzymes. Okay, so this cyclophosphamide also useful in the treatment of non-Hodgkin lymphomas, breast cancer, then carcinomas of lungs, cervix and ovary. Okay, means cancer of lungs, cervix and ovary. So this cyclophosphamide has been utilized. Now the next drug is what, ifosfamide. You can see the structure of ifosfamide. Okay, is in case of this cyclophosphamide at NH. Okay, so NH will be there, but the hydrogen will be replaced by CH2 Cl. Okay, so this is what ifosfamide structure you can see. So this ifosfamide basically analog of again cyclophosphamide, and which is again prodrug, which requires what activation through different isoenzymes, P440 isoenzymes by in vivo through CYP2B6 and CYP3A4 or 5 in what liver. So this drug again useful in the treatment of testicular cancer. Okay, then sarcomas, lymphomas, then basically lungs and cervix. Okay, so lungs and cervix cancers. Okay, so this is what about ifosfamide. Next, the side effects of this ifosfamide basically. So these are what same side effect as like your cyclophosphamide, but these drugs having a greater nephrotoxicity and neurotoxicity. Okay, this ifosfamide is having what greater nephrotoxicity and neurotoxicity than the cyclophosphamide. Okay, now the next drug is what mefalfam. The basic structure is given aromatic ring, nitrogen, CH2 CH2Cl, CH2 CH2Cl, and again here amino acid fragment you can see. So mefalfam will be there. So this mefalfam I given either orally or IVly, and useful in the treatment of what myeloma, breast cancer and ovarian cancer. And whatever the side effect of these mefalfam, again similar like your cyclophosphamide. Okay, now the next drug from this nitrogen mustard is chlorambucil. Okay, so chlorambucil, you can see the structure. Okay, so amino group in case of what, you can see the structure of mefalfam. There is what NH2COH, NH2 will be there. So this NH2 will be removed, you will get what chlorambucil structure. Okay, one carbon extra, but okay, so this is what the chlorambucil structure. So it is again given orally or IVly, and useful in the treatment of chronic lymphocytic leukemia, primary microglobulinemia, and also useful in the Hodgkin's disease. Okay, so what are the clinical toxicity of this chlorambucil is what moderate myelosuppression will occur, then amenorrhea, lung fibrosis, seizure, dermatitis and hepatotoxicity may causes the secondary leukemia in the long term used. Okay, so these are what all side effect: moderate myelosuppression, amenorrhea, lungs fibrosis, seizures, dermatitis, hepatotoxicity, and also causes what secondary leukemia in long term. Okay, so these are what all about the nitrogen mustard. So now here the mechanism of action of this nitrogen mustard has been given by structurally, and this is what important as per your examination. Okay, so this will whatever this mechanism of action will learn into the next session. Till that, happy learning and thank you.